Now, people of God, I thank the Lord for this opportunity that He has given me to do this live video. And as I said, you may not be live, but at a particular moment, you may meet this video. And I'm a psycho-spiritual minister. Professionally, I am a psychological counselor. But I tell people, life is spiritual. We are spirits, but have this physical body, and in the body, we have the soul. In the soul, we have the emotions, the intellect, and the will. And as I've worked with people, and that's even part of the conversation, pick and sound is clear. Okay, thank you, sir. As I've worked with the people of God in the helping profession, because this is a conversation that is overdue in Kenya and also the church in Africa, and I talk as part of the church, I believe spirituality is a very critical element, if not a pillar, in people's lives to help them live functional lives, people of God. And I always say, as a psycho-spiritual minister, I respect how people explore their spirituality because Muslims are spiritual in their own way. And that I clarify by saying, I said all human beings are spiritual, but we have this physical body, and in the body there is the soul. And in the soul, there is the emotions, the intellect, the mind. So every human being always is in a quest to fill that spiritual gap that any soul feel, that emptiness when they don't have that permanent reconciliation with God. And that explains religions. And that's why I always say that Muslims are spiritual, Buddhas are spiritual, Baha'is are spiritual, Hindus are spiritual in their own way. But my interest is always in the Christianity because personally, I am a Christian. And everyday child of God, now going back to my helping profession, you realize that people of God are going through a lot of difficulties, are going through a lot of distresses. And when you walk with them, people of God, you realize the biggest pathology is coming from the church. And I have to clarify, people of God, I don't speak these things outside church. I'm part of the Church of Christ. And in fact, I unapologetically tell people, I can defend Christianity anywhere, any day, anytime, rationally, because I know the wisdom of God in bringing Christ in this physical realm. Yes, He secured our eternity, people of God, but I can assure you that by the finished work of the cross, human beings are empowered for this life. Now I go back, child of God, to the church of Jesus Christ. It is a conversation that many of us may not be able to talk about it openly because anytime anybody try to speak about the state of the Church of Jesus Christ, and especially if you're confronting some of the errors, some of the pathologies, many people think ni vita, lakini saa hizi ukweli si vita ya kanisa anymore. Is a battle for soul, is a battle to rescue people of God from pathologies that have been camouflaged into spirituality. If the Church of Jesus Christ, all of us who have ministries, pastors, bishops, archbishops, and everybody, mwenye amekubali Kristo kama mwokozi wa maisha yake na amesikia mwito kwa moyo wake, ati amekubali ofisi ya kurepresent Jesus Christ in this physical realm. If anybody is a Christian child of God, and especially now to the teachers, if we teach another gospel, if we bring syncretism of the African traditional religion in the Church of Jesus Christ, Badala ya watu kupata solutions, badala ya watu kupata solace, badala ya watu kuwa set free, watu wanajipata wameingizwa into bondages zingine zenye wengine wakikuja kwetu sasa kama professionals, unashindwa utawasaidia aje, because most of the time it is you as a professional against the doctrine. It is you as a professional against these doctrines that have cropped up into the African church, na si doctrine za Mungu, ukweli wa Mungu. And the more we keep quiet, in fact, my biggest pain is when I see upcoming ministers, because watu wanaforsiwa ati ukifika, ukianzisha ministry ama ukianzisha church, lazima na wewe uanze kubuild into the wrong foundation yenye imewekwa of late. Because when the Church of Jesus Christ came into Africa, if we go to the church history, na staki hata kwenda to the church history, people of God, it was Christ plus nothing. But as time went on, ikakuja madoctrine zingine, sasa hizo ndio za African traditional religion. If it's the men of God, instead of representing Christ, wanakuja wakiwa typology of African traditional diviners, African traditional, I don't want to call them witches, but ni wale, unajua kwa Kikuyu tulikuwa tunasema adoago, because it's always about the spirit is saying, umerogwa na huyu, umefungwa na huyu, unastahili kuinua madhabahu hii ndio uvunjiwe whatever. And that's why I talk as a professional, because people of God, even in the professional world, if we were to do counseling exclusively with the techniques, the philosophies zenye zimetoka nje ya Africa, even how watu cannot identify with the problems that we are dealing with as Africans. Kwa sababu wazungu hawana hii madrama, wazungu hawajui ati in Africa hata kuona tu lizard kwa nyumba lazima iwe na spiritual connotation. People have been so brainwashed, have been so conditioned that there is nothing. Hata ukaona paka kwa barabara lazima iwe ni pepo, lazima uwe kukemea and whatever. And all these things zimeletwa na nani, watu wa Mungu? All these pathologies, all this conditioning zimeletwa na makanisa. And in the process, you find even very resourceful people in the society. Watu siku hizi wanaingia kanisa wakiwa na akili timamu. And I say kanisa without judgment, but truthfully I have to talk about the church kwa sababu tukijaribu kupoint huyu na huyu, juzi I was telling us people of God, you cannot even point one person useme ati huyu ako better, huyu ako worse na nini, unless all of us come together as Church of Jesus Christ, and especially to our generation, the upcoming ministers, within the boundaries of righteousness. Lazima tujiulize, tuliingia kwa hii maneno ya uungu tukitafuta nini? Na wakati tuliintroduziwa kwa huyu Mungu na Kristo, tulipata nini? Hizi vitu zingine nyingi zenye tumejipata ndani, kanisa zimekuwa mabiashara zenye people are making easy money in these religious institutions. Mtu akikuwa tu idol, mtu akikuwa hajaenda shule, mtu akikuwa hana profession, mtu akikuwa ana form, in short, they think the easy way out is to open a church. And in the process, people of God, the damage that it is causing to the general public, it is something that we cannot ignore anymore. And I know, people of God, many times even the government cannot be able to regulate the church because watu wanasema Mungu hawezi regulatiwa and many other issues. But how will we keep quiet? How will we continue sitting down when this church thing is benefiting a few, na hata very hardworking Kenyans earning their money genuinely and toiling, instead of giving or supporting the word of God with the knowledge, with understanding. Because like today someone asked me, Mary Morgan, is it okay ama ni vizuri kusupport watumishi wa Mungu? Yes. The work of God inahitaji resources. The gospel of Christ need a lot of resources ili iweze kuspreadiwa effectively. But can people be taught about the principle of giving? They give when they make informed decision when giving, not being scared into giving, not being manipulated into giving, not giving under deception. In fact, yesterday, child of God, a woman, and I think even this is one of the reasons imefanya nifanye hii video, because nasikia uchungu kwa moyo wangu, children of God. And this woman just represent many who have gone through manipulation in the Church of Jesus Christ. Alikuwa na mama mgonjwa, child of God. Mama yake ni mgonjwa. Umeenda, open up to a servant of God, your pain, your distress. Akaprofesaiwa mavitu zingine hapo zenye haziko, na akaambiwa unahitaji utoe sadaka ya kuinua madhabahu. And child of God, because I know many people may not see this issue from that perspective. To me, I believe now even it's no longer ati ni manipulation ya mchezo. Because mama yako akiwa mgonjwa, surely uko na hospital bill unastahili kulipa. Lakini ujipate umepanda mbegu ya shamba, unapeleka title deed ya shamba kwa kanisa. Unarudi unakaka mama haponi, unachukua gari unapeleka, child of God. Then unaachwa na bill ya hospitali in distress, in bitterness, in shame. And I know, children of God, because si ati aliyekelewa gun kwa kichwa kulipa ama kutoa hiyo pesa. That's why it is very hard even for the government to curb some of these things. But now us as the Church of Jesus Christ, I part of it. Utu ulienda wapi? Utu ulienda wapi, watu wa Mungu? Mtu akona mgonjwa, anahitaji pesa kushughulikia huyo mgonjwa. Then apande shamba, apande gari, kupanda mbegu, watu wa Mungu, because I know hata kupanda may not make sense to people who are not conversant with these religious languages. Then you are left hopeless, depressed, and there is nowhere you can take that man of God who represent God. You are left in depression, na eventually mama ya huyo mama alikufa. Watu wa Mungu, is there a way we can come together as the Church of Jesus Christ and agree, like extortion, hata sio dhambi, it is illegal. Hata mtu saa zingine akienda kutoa hii masadaka kubwa sana kwa kanisa, before mtu ata accept, ata watu wa Mungu, the society, mtu afanywe mental assessment tuone kama hawa watu wanatoa hizi pesa wakiwa in the right state of mind. And that's why me as a psycho-spiritual minister, children of God, it's no longer business as usual. And I've always talked about brainwashing. Ukiangalia kama kwa church, kwa education sector, a curriculum mtoto kwanzia akiwa mdogo vile anafunzwa number, addition na nini, mpaka akili inaanza kupata concepts za education. That's the same way these religious charlatans are using wrong information, wrong doctrines to corrupt people's mind. And if we were to add that maybe they are using other powers, and you find people of God doing and making decisions that are not in the will of God. In the helping profession, you listen. Someone comes here in depression. Someone is suicidal. But when you listen to their story, it has something to do with the church. It has something to do with religiosity. People of God. Is that how we will represent God in this physical realm? Is that why Jesus died? Did Christ die to set his people free, children of God free? Or he died to add another bondage into them? As part of Jesus Christ and as a human being, as a Kenyan, and ultimately as an African, because this religious drama has become a menace is not only in Kenya, it is in Africa. Who will rescue the people of God? And that's why, child of God, as I talked about church reformation, it is not major reformation. One, it starts by you understanding, child of God, what is Christianity? Ukristo ni nini? And we start holding these men of God accountable who are teaching wrong doctrine. If the government cannot be able to come watusaidie, can the church regulate itself? Hizi bodies zenye huwa zina evangelicals, NSS, whatever, hizi zenye huwa zina govern makanisa, do they see the drama that is happening in the society? And I always say now, children of God, as a psycho-spiritual minister, if someone was to open a church or whatever by the name of another religion, because now in Kenya we have the freedom of worship. Mtu amekubaliwa kuworship Kenya anataka na the way you want to worship. It's okay. It's okay even to be under another religion and do all those dramas. Lakini mtu akisema anafungua cha kanisa na yeye ni Mkristo, asipohubiri Kristo, naanza madrama zenye zinafanya watu wanaishi in shame, in distress, akuwe a religious thug who is just stealing from the society their hard-earned money, who will hold them accountable? And people of God, if we don't wake up, if those of us who believe that Christ didn't die for nothing don't stand up and unapologetically defend the truth, ndio unaona mpaka Gen Z wanasema ati hawataki Mungu, ile kitu wanaogopa ni ndoa na ujimoto. And in reality, isipokuwa ni pastor wa Gen Z mwingine ameanza kuwasaidia kushika network ya kiroho, wameangalia maisha yetu na madrama zenye tumefanya hiyo miaka yote, wanaona they don't want to be part of it. But the gospel of Jesus Christ is so simple. It does not involve all these shenanigans, people of God. If errors and all the nonsense that we have been doing in the name of God are not working for us, why should we transfer it to the next generation? But we know the gospel of Christ is power. The gospel of Christ is transformative. And that's why me as a psycho-spiritual minister, I know that revealing Christ for who he is, telling the people of God of the finished work of the cross and what that is to bring to humanity, it solves even mashida yenye hakuna scientist anaweza kuwa nayo, child of God. But now withholding that truth and bringing another dramas in the name of God, imefanya people's psycho-spiritual health is at stake. People are in depression. People are suicidal. Marriages are breaking. Children wana grow wakiwa awako sawa mentally, because hata watoto wadogo wakikuwa introduced to this Christian thing, when it's not about Christ, wana introduciwa to religiosity, wanakuwa kitu ingine tofauti, watu wa Mungu. And this year, by the grace of God, there is the tool that I'll be introducing very soon. A body that I'll be launching very soon. I said one, I'll be offering free mental health services to people who have been afflicted and affected by religion, people of God. People wenye wameibiwa, they have been psycho-spiritually abused, and they don't know where to find help because they are told that hiyo ni kesi yako na Mungu. Ukishanyang'anywa pesa yako, ukishaibiwa pesa yako, hiyo kesi yako ati utakesia mbinguni. Na ni ukweli, before the government supports us, because I hope that in the future even the government will support us in some of these things. Na tuache kusema ati ni kuregulatiwa watu wa Mungu. Hii madrama yenye watu wanafanya in the name of God, harming people of God, if we cannot self-regulate, then it is the high time we be regulated. If it's the men of God, servants of God, and I always say it may not seem like so, but personally, I love and honor men of God who teach truth because I know how important this truth is to humanity. I know when that truth is revealed, the empowerment that it gives to the society. I know, child of God, that there is hope for humanity. Na si hope tunatafutilia. Christ didn't die for nothing. As much as I respect all other religions, as much as I respect all other faiths, people of God, God gave a precious gift to humanity in form of Jesus Christ. Yes, sure, because even if we go to the translation of the name that now we have Jesus Christ, but it's not even about the name, is that God incarnated. He came in human form, not for nothing. He came to solve human problems that no institutions can be able to solve. But by revealing Christ, we can be able to solve some of these things, if not all. And ultimately, our eternity is secured. But now the problem, the solutions were hijacked by religiosity. The only solution that God gave for humanity to live functional lives was hijacked by religiosity. Na watu wameachwa kwa madrama tofauti. Watu who protest wakati high cost of living, kama saizi utaona protest about cancer, which is disastrous, which has become a national disaster. Ukinyanyasa wafanyikazi, labor laws zinaku hold accountable. But who will hold religious institutions accountable because of the shenanigans that have dominated the society in the name of God? I know we are many. It is not only Mary Morgan who know this is the truth and nothing but the truth, people of God. But at the same time, not many may have the courage that I have. But I'm telling you, child of God, if you don't stand up, if you don't stand to be counted, hata wewe you are part of the people who are spreading errors, who are damaging people's psycho-spiritual health in the name of God. I've said one is to refuse to be partaker of this madrama. Usiende kutoa pesa yako bila akili, bila kufikiria, child of God. I know there may be powers that are influencing some of these things. You have, child of God, to find a healthy church that teaches Christ. Before we win this battle, or before many of other people awaken and say enough is enough of these shenanigans, you have to take personal responsibility of your life, child of God. But ultimately, as the Church of Jesus Christ, leo hata sijaingiza maombi niseme ati tuombee hili jambo. Hata tuombe, unless Mungu sasa literally aondoe watu duniani hapa, that may not be the solution. What I'm saying is that there are things that need prayers and there are situations that need action. I hope that the leaders, the institutions that govern or regulate the Church of Jesus Christ, I don't know even when they are there, but I purpose even to start looking for some of these people and air my grievances with evidence. I was a victim of some of these things I talk about, child of God. If God didn't have mercy on me, sijui ningekuwa wapi. Na si shetani, ati umeenda kwa kanisa kutafuta Mungu. Unaenda unapata shetani sasa amekugojea kwa kanisa. And the pain of all these things is seeing very resourceful people in the society ending up to be zombies. Unapata mtu ametoka career mzuri, juu ya hii madrama yote, ameingia in the system and become nothing. People are living in church, living in forest. Watu waliona Shakahola, wakafikiria ati Shakahola ni hiyo iko Mombasa. Watu wa Mungu, Shakahola yenye ilikuwa Mombasa, iyo was God just kutuonyesha sign of what really is happening. Mashakahola ni nyingi. And if the government would want even evidence, they should look for some of us. We'll tell them truth and provide evidence of people going through a lot of distress. Ata work na yeye as a profession. Kuna depression inataka tu mtu apate consistent ugali. Wakati tunasema serikali itengeneze job opportunities, there are people who are living well-paying jobs. Wanaingia kwa religion kufanya vitu hakuna. Juu unaingia full-time ministry to teach lies, to deceive, is because when the church is not regulated, it has become another thing where people are able to make income passively. You just sit, tengeneza line 2-3, divert from the finished work of the cross completely, anza kuuza tu vitu, uza handkerchief, uza maji, uza nini, useme iko anointed. And you get good money. Who wouldn't want that kind of business? Enyewe watu wa Mungu, who wouldn't want soft life without going through a lot of struggle? But is that how the Church of Jesus Christ should be? And me, child of God, I always say, I honor, I respect men of God who teach truth. And the pity is that even people who teach real truth, wengi ni wale wajulikani. Kwa sababu tumekuwa trapped in transgenerational eras, we have celebrity ministers. Mtu akitokezea akue figure, sasa akona jina, akona influence. We think ati huyo ndio anafunza ukweli. Na sasa wengine hao wakona majina. Not all of them, they are good men of God who have kingdom influence, who are teaching truth. But I'm saying, it is not everyone who is a celebrity preacher that is teaching the truth. And by that, their word conditions so many people towards error, towards lies. But when people of God come to some of us for counseling, you listen to their story and you really empathize with the state of the church. Is that how we will represent God even to the unbelievers? Who would want to join that kind of a system? Because ukweli ni kuwa watu wa Mungu wamekimbizwa na mambo mengi duniani. And me, I don't believe watu wenye uandika ati ukiingia kwa Mungu, when you expect good things is prosperity gospel. Apana. Ukweli ni kuwa by the death, resurrection, and ascension of Jesus Christ, those who believe, we are empowered for this life. Whether it's the way we do business, we do it differently. Whether it's when we face challenges, whether it is health challenges, psychological or mental health challenges, we are in a better position. As much as we are in this world, we are not of it. And that's what makes the difference between us and the people of the world. But if the world is becoming a better place than the Church of Jesus Christ, is that how we want to represent God, people of God? And so many people know these truths, but they cannot talk because ukijaribu kuongea kidogo, unapiga kanisa. But I say, child of God, I represent the Church of Jesus Christ. I have this burden for souls, not religiously, but it's because I know when Christ is revealed for who he is, he offers many solutions to human problems. As I've said, people of God, this is just one of the many videos I do. And because, again, criticizing systems, but you are not offering solutions, ISID, nakuwa tu ni noise making, I'm coming up with structures, I'm coming up with programs. If I say, usiende kutoa pesa bila akili, usiibiwe, I'll teach kingdom way of giving. And not only me, I'll bring even men of God who can teach these things, these truths, these principles without manipulation. Kwa sababu kila kitu yote yenye imeingizwa manipulation, child of God, si ati ni uongo. If it's giving, it's a kingdom principle. If it's reading the word of God, it's a kingdom principle. If it's fasting, it's a kingdom principle. Lakini ikifunzwa religiously, mambo zingine zinaingizwa ndani. Kama saa hizi tuko season ya fasting, many religious institutions, kuna wale wana fast 40, kuna wale wana fast 21, kuna wale wana fast 3 days. But do you know why you are doing that in the first place? Ama una fast ili uvunje nguvu of your mother's house and your father's house. Una fast ili ufanye nini? Have you been taught? And that's why I said, child of God, we thank God for men of God who labor to teach the people of God truth. But we can't deny the fact that kuna wengine wengi waamua kuwa idlers kwa kuchukua tu Biblia. Na sasa to us who are mental health practitioners, kuizi hata wengine mtu wakikuwa mwenda wazimu tu, bora ushike tu Bible ujue mistari kadhaa, unaanza kuminister, unaanza kupea watu wa Mungu madrama zenye haziko, na in the process you enrich yourself at the expense of very hard-working Kenyans. And you live a soft life. Do men of God deserve to live good life? Yes. They labor. Lakini, just because the true men of God deserve some of these things, the quacks, the liars, the charlatans are living even better lives. When true men of God who teach truth are languishing in lack, in distress, because I've said, when the system is wrong, people think that's how the Church of Jesus Christ should operate. And as a psycho-spiritual minister, I started by saying my greatest pain is to see hard-working Kenyans, badala uibiwe na mwizi kwa barabara, unaanza kuibiwa kwa kanisa. Watu wakati security inawekwa, serikali inaweka security kulinda wananchi wasiibiwe na wezi na wakora. Nani anaweka security watu wa Mungu waache kuibiwa na charlatans who are hiding in the church? What are the measures that have been put to make sure that someone ministering is mentally okay? Someone ministering is not after getting money from people of God, manipulating them physically, psychologically, spiritually. I said juicy in one of my posts, Children of God, about a case of a woman who was manipulated and sexually abused by a pastor. Na wakati kesi yake inatokea in the society, you know church is a society, so hata kabla itoke huko nje, badala watu wa hold this man of God accountable with his actions, ukipelekwa kwa hiyo makesi, huyu msichana anaambiwa akona spirit ya Jezebel, alitaka kuangusha the man of God. But when I was walking with this woman of God in the healing journey, the manipulation came from the man. Women of God, and I'm a woman too, we are emotional beings. You have to be alert in the spirit. Hawa watu hawana huruma na wewe, watu wa Mungu. Utaenda tu hapo ati ni prayer point umepeleka, bwanangu anifanyangi hivi, bwanangu hafanyangi nini. Ana realize shida yako, anaanza kukuaffirm, anaanza kukuvalidate, mwisho unajipata mahali pabaya. Na wengi ako after your money, ako after your body. And when that situation blows out of proportion, you are blamed. Who will hold these people accountable? And if we talk about it kidogo, unapiga kanisa, ni adui wa Mungu, nini. And that's why I pray, if you are in government, if you ever meet this video na uko na power, mimi vita yangu hata sitaki kupiga kelele kwa mtandao. I want to meet relevant authorities and ask, labor laws zinalinda wafanyikazi wasinyanyaswe na employees? Kama ni sisi as professionals, their bodies zenye zinalinda wananchi, usimisuse your profession to enrich yourself through clients, to manipulate them, to abuse them, because you are the one thinking you are in power. Doctors have bodies which hold them accountable, but this Church of Jesus Christ, because if we were to teach truth na tuokoke ya ukweli, na ndio mi usema when Christ is revealed to humanity, we are different people. When our spirit is regenerated, is renewed after justification, the process of sanctification is a process of transformation. As you're transforming, you're conforming to the image of Christ. That means as he is, we become. And that's why when Christ is taught for who he is, when the gospel of Christ is taught for what it is, the truth is that people's souls, people's hearts are changed. Greed, selfishness, malice, adultery, hizo vitu zote tunaitanga evils, are inherently human things. Lakini when we become regenerated, the old is gone and behold the new has come, we become totally different people. I can't claim perfection, but I know there are things I can't do. Ukweli mimi ata mtu mgonjwa kweli tu shwali, akona mgonjwa, akuja kwa maombi, badala hata umuombe na hata utoe 10,000 umusupport, umusaidie juendi mtumishi wa Mungu, unachukua pesa yake, shamba, unachukua gari, na hata usiki uchungu. Meaning religiosity makes people even harden. Wata sasa hata to human level, unakuwa ni kama unyama. Makanisa ukweli ni kuwa, watu wasipo reveal Christ for who he is, unyama yenye inafanyika in these four walls in the name of God, it's no longer funny. It's no longer right. but it starts from wrong doctrine. It makes the gospel of Jesus Christ look ridiculous when it's not. And some of us who walk with the benefit of this Christianity, who walk with the benefit of the finished work of the cross, we are in pain when we see the gospel being commercialized. Na hata kuwa commercialized is the least of the evil. People are abused, misused in the name of God. It starts by you and me, child of God, to have this authentic conversation. Hata mshinde mkinitumia inbox, I don't name people. I don't call out names. But I'm saying, child of God, tuondoe hiyo uoga tuliyekwa na dini ati huwezi ongea ukweli. Hiyo uoga yenye iliyekwa na religion, because the truth is that religion is about control. That fear you feel is not the fear of God. Why would you fear speaking truth? Situkubali tuache uoga watu wa Mungu. When I launch this movement, people of God, because I'll be launching it very soon. Today I was joking in the post that I made that I was saying, is there someone who can give me a porcupine? In the spirit of hugging things, that I be given a porcupine, I hug it for 72 hours in protest of the way church inaibia watu wa Mungu. But something is coming, child of God. I hope you'll be part of it, not to fight anyone, not to fight the church. In fact, it is to reveal Christ to the world and to humanity. Lakini usikubali kuwa pateka wa uongo, wa error, ya deception in the name of blind, stupid royalty. To who? Your allegiance should be to Christ. And this is the Christ that have been so suppressed in this religious institution that it is no longer about him. And when people go to other religions, well and good. But we have to say enough is enough in a Christianity without Christ. A Christianity without Christ, but a Christianity with a lot of drama and nonsense. Tune in, child of God. This is just the beginning. Pray for me. But I can tell you that the one is me is greater than the one in the world. But let's not be ignorant of the schemes of the enemy. You can be part of this movement. And I'll be launching it very soon. Those people who are saying we are tired of a Christianity without Christ. A Christianity without Christ is powerless, is toothless, and it just become beneficial to few celebrity charlatans at the detriment of thousands of people who have trusted God and believe in this Christianity thing. Until next time, people, it's shalom and bye-bye.